Right, so it's my turn now to tell the story of how I met the Morrigan. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but it never seemed to be the right time, and well, anyway, there are lots of other videos out there people are doing, you know, how they met the Morrigan. And yeah, so I think it's time now for me to do my video, how I met the Morrigan. So even though a lot of people who have told their story, and there are all the similarities that run through them about how they have realization is the Morrigan all along, and then they've had all the signs, the calling cards, sort of on the build up to that realization, but then realizing as well that she'd been there all along. That's pretty much how it went with me as well. So I don't want to make these videos too long, so I'm trying to cut a long story short here. So I've been working with the spirits for 15 years now, and it was probably about 5.5 to 6 years ago that the Morrigan came in, and that's when I had this big realization. I thought, oh shit, that's the Morrigan. You know, and it's like, in typical Morrigan fashion, it's sort of like a bomb drop in. You know, you think, well, how did I realise this sooner? All the signs were there, is everything, and it's just, you know, a lot of stories similar in this line. With me, she also came in with a death at that time, as well as all the crows and whatnot. I lost a baby at 5 months of pregnancy, so she literally came in with a death as well. And as you know, the Morrigan is a goddess of death. She's a death goddess. So that was a really big sign as well, along with all the others. So let's talk about the 6 months leading up to this realisation that there was the Morrigan was calling me. It started off just the small signs, and it's like I could describe it as like a hunter, like stalking a prey. And then she sort of pounces, and you're like, what the fuck was that? You know, so she comes in with the typical calling cards that built up, and it became more intense, like over a period of about 6 months. So the last month or so before I realized, just before I realized the Morrigan was with me, that last month was exceptionally weird. I mean, there was palpable tension in the house. I mean, you could feel that there was like a strong presence here, and you know, I'm used to the spirits coming and going and working in different ways with different spirits, different energies, but this was different. And even my boyfriend and a friend of mine as well felt, and you know, you've seen shadows, and he was scared, and it felt like you were constantly being watched. It felt like there was a presence in the house that was just watching you all the time. And it's not just me that noticed it, it was other people that noticed it as well. So my animals were acting weird as well. My animals were just constantly behaving really strangely and doing things they wouldn't normally do. And so you know, so looking back, it was like, you know, she was building up the intensity of this energy, and then I sort of bam, I had this realisation, and I just by chance happened to come across a YouTube video titled "Is the Morrigan Calling?" And I thought, oh, I'll watch that. And as I watched it, bang, there it was. So, yeah, I watched the video and realised that she was calling. But there's also another story that runs alongside this story up to this realisation as well. Because as all this was going on, I had got to a point where I'd been working, I'd been sort of flung myself into my shamanic practices, my working with the spirits. I was continually doing this. It was heavy going work, and I decided for some reason that it was time for me to dedicate. I wanted to dedicate to a deity. I wanted to train to be a priestess of that deity. I was ready to go for it, and I thought, right. And I'd worked with a number of deities prior to this point, and the one that I was about to dedicate myself to was the goddess Sekhmet, the ancient Egyptian goddess Sekhmet, because she was the very first deity that I worked with, and it was she who actually introduced me to what she calls the Council of the Gods, as she called it, to the Council of the Gods. So she was the first deity that I worked with, and she introduced me to other deities then. So I decided that I was going to dedicate to Sekhmet, and I'd been sort of building this up in my mind. Nothing concrete, you know. I was just sort of thinking about and maybe piecing a few, you know, bits of maybe what sort of ritual I might do for her, and making a few notes maybe. And that was when I happened to chance across a YouTube video, and that's when the Morrigan's energy came in at its strongest. That was like at the real pinnacle of the energy of the. It was just. I was basically, she just came in and said, no, you don't. You are not dedicated to anybody else because you belong to me. You're mine. If you're going to dedicate to anybody, you're going to dedicate to me, and I am going to train you. Nobody else. And that was the end of that. So I was a bit, you know, whoa. It was all a bit much because I was so in awe that the Morrigan had come to me, you know. She'd called on me, and I was also a little bit shitting myself that I had already was gearing myself up to dedicate to Sekhmet, and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to explain this to Sekhmet that I'm not doing that anymore because I'm running away with Morrigan, sort of thing. Because that's what it felt like. But it at the time, Sekhmet her energy felt it had taken a step back, and the Morrigan had taken a huge step forward. And so I felt that everything was squared, everything was okay. In the end, I argued with myself a lot over that. I argued with the Morrigan as well, and her answer to that was, well, because I'm Welsh. I'm not Irish. Morrigan is an Irish deity. I'm Welsh, so Celtic roots. I'm not, well, you're certainly not ancient Egyptian, she said. You're on my turf, you're mine. That was the end of that. And I often wonder as well, you know, I mean, why me? I don't know, why does she choose any of the spirit workers that she chooses, or witches, or anyone? Why does she choose people? Because I believe that she sees something in that person that she can use and improve whatever it is that they have, that they can work for her benefit and her goals and her agenda for this planet. So she chose me for some reason, couldn't tell you why, but she did. And she's the reason that I'm making these videos. She is the reason that I am doing any of this, as I have come to understand, as she has told me. So oh, speaking of trip trapping, sorry, it's my dog coming to investigate. All right. Right, sit down, sit. So I'm hoping to do more videos where I can go into further detail about like different aspects of my relationship with the spirits that I work with, and also the Morrigan. And alright. Oh. So no, the dog is fussing me. Alright. Yeah, so I'm hoping to do more videos about this and go into detail about lots of different things. So as we go back to, I've gone off on a tangent now, it's my dog interfering with everything. So we go back to, I said that was about 5.5 years ago. So I dedicated myself to the Morrigan 5 years ago, and I have been training with her for the last 5 years, because she's been training me in her way to be the priestess that she wants me to be. Now I'm very aware that there are plenty of other people who are dedicated to the Morrigan, who are priestesses of the Morrigan. They belong to organisations, or maybe some of them don't. I'm one of the ones that doesn't. I don't belong to any other organisation. I am just me. And there's a dog fight outside. This is just great, this is. I don't know if you could hear that then. Right. So, yeah, so she's been training me. She has been training me in her way to be the priestess that she wants me to be. This is her words to me. This is how it comes across to me. This is what I am supposed to be conveying to you. So, you know, as in relation to the calling, as why she calls as well. She doesn't want everyone who she calls to be the same. She wants different people to work in different ways for her cause, because she, as she's well aware, I mean, as everybody else is, no two people are the same, and they, you know, there are people who learn in a one way, in a visual way. There are other people who learn in perhaps by hearing or reading or doing, you know, different people learn in different ways, and gain information in different ways. So that's the crux of it, really, is the difference. She likes variety, as long as there's something there that she can use to help her do what she needs to do on this planet. So anyway, there's some brilliant other videos and resources out there, and I've seen a lot of them, you know, for learning about the Morrigan. But I just want to say before I go, because I'm nearly done with this video now, that I'm not affiliated with any of them, with anybody else, just to be, or any other organisation or anyone to do with the Morrigan. It's just me, the Red Lady. So just wanted to be clear on that, very clear on that. Okay, so, and I hope you enjoyed my story, And I might do another video next week, I think. Okay, thank you for listening.